out with the parents this week in the UK and the UAE. And the reason is this, is because we're talking to a lot of parents as we're enrolling students into our courses, our summer programs. And the number one question that we get from parents all the time is this, is, well, Graham, I don't quite understand it, because the issue is this. My son and my daughter, they're upstairs, they're in their room, they're studying. I know that they are revising. They're putting hours and hours of work in, revising late into the night, all weekend. But the problem is this. It's that they just seem to be stuck at a B. I mean, I'm frustrated. My teen is frustrated. We just don't seem to be able to break through the grade barrier of a B. And we're a bit worried because, well, they really need the A or the A star in order to be competitive candidates for medical school. Now, what I say to parents is this. I say, yes, but did you know that it's not how much revision your teen is doing? It's not how much they are revising. It's how they are revising. It's a slight difference there, right? So it's not how much they're revising. It's how they're revising. What are they doing in the hour that they're spending revising A-level chemistry, for example? Now, the reason I mention this is because most students in the UK, they fall into the trap. And the trap is this. It feels productive in the moment, what they're doing. But unfortunately, it's holding them back. Now, parents, I've got to admit, I take my hat off to you. I know that you're working hard. You really want to see your teen be successful. You're investing time, you're investing money, you're putting in the effort to help your teen get the A and the A star in A-level maths and A-level science. Totally agree. But the issue is this. The reason why they're not getting the A or the A star, they're stuck at the B, they're plateauing out at the B, is this, that they are stuck in what I call the revision trap. Now, the revision trap, as soon as I explain it, you'll probably go, actually, you know what, Graham? Now you mention it, they are doing that. So, for example, is your teen rereading notes? Now, it's fair that they reread the notes, but are they spending most of their time rereading notes? Are they highlighting their textbook? All the colors of the rainbow, like Skittles? Or are they watching YouTube videos? Now, again, these three things, it sounds like a really good idea, doesn't it? And at the moment, your teen feels productive. Like, Mom, Dad, guess what? Yes, I've reread my notes. I've highlighted the chapter. And I've found some YouTube videos that kind of somewhat explained what the teacher was talking about in school. I think that I've done a good revision session. True. It feels productive, doesn't it? But the issue is this, is that it doesn't create the neural change needed, the neural change required for the A star performance. And this is what the issue is. So let's break down the revision trap, the passive revision trap, into more detail. The issue is this, is what they're doing to revise is not deeply engaging the brain. It just isn't. But it's a bit deceptive, because what it does is it tricks a student into thinking, oh, I'm learning something. I spent my hour revising wisely. But if they're not retrieving the information, if they're not applying the information, if they're not reinforcing what they've learned, the knowledge that they've learned, then the result is, yes, they may understand it at the moment, but it doesn't translate into being able to apply it under pressure. And this is where the importance comes in. Yes, they may have a superficial, glossy understanding of it. Totally agree. For that moment in time, after they're watching the YouTube video, reread the notes, highlight the textbook, they may have a glib, superficial understanding of it, but when it comes time, when they walk into the exam hall, it all begins to fade away. And the reason is because they don't really know how to apply the knowledge that they've learned under pressure when it counts. So what do A-star students do that's different then? You know, how do A-star students have a secret inside track? Is it a magic pill or something that they can take that all of a sudden you transform yourself into an A-star student? No. A-star students, actually, they don't revise more than students who get a B. I know this is an interesting fact, right? It's an interesting statistic. A-star students don't necessarily revise more than students who get a B or a C. But what they do is that they revise differently. And this is the difference. They revise differently. What they do is what's known as active revision, not passive revision, which is what your teens probably doing now if they're stuck in the trap of a B, you know, reading, highlighting, watching YouTube videos. What A-star students do is known as active revision, and it's based on the 6 pillars of learning from neuroscience. So you may notice that at Empower STEM, yes, we are big into neuroscience, the 6 pillars of learning from neuroscience. Yes, we are. And so here they are. Number 1, spaced retrieval. This is what the A-star students do. Number 1, spaced retrieval, which means this is that, let's say that they study a topic on a Monday, they'll go back and study again on a Wednesday and test what they know. What did they recall? Or they'll start to ask themselves questions throughout the day. Can I recall this? Can I recall this? Do I know how to do this? It's a spaced retrieval practice. What it's doing is it's moving the information from the short term to the long term memory. Interleaving. They do not study A-level chemistry for hours and hours on end. No. So what they do is that they may, say, study A-level chemistry for an hour on Monday and then A-level biology for an hour on a Monday. Or if they're doing A-level chemistry, they may do a topic from A-level chemistry, say from year 12 on a Monday, and a topic from year 13 half an hour later. So they're interleaving. And by this, what this does is that it gives the brain time to absorb the information, onboard as much information as possible. But it also makes sure that they don't reach cognitive overload. You know, cognitive overload means getting burnt out. You know, it's like, oh, I spent hours and hours and hours, Graham, studying, and I get so tired just going over the questions and the mock schemes. I was beginning to make silly mistakes. Well, of course you are, because what you're doing is that you've overloaded the brain. Dual coding. What they do is they learn the information in more than one way. For example, they're writing out a blurt diagram. I would call it a mind map diagram, and they're also saying it out loud. They're writing it and they're saying it. This is an example of dual coding. Or maybe they're watching a video and they're taking notes on it. Or maybe they're color coding something as they go through notes. It's dual coding. It means more than one sensory input. Now, cognitive load management, we've talked about. Cognitive load management means this. It means that they're pacing themselves. Because parents, you and I know that A-level chemistry, biology, physics, and math, it's a marathon, isn't it? And so what you need to do is you need to pace yourself so you don't get burnt out. So they have a really structured way of studying. Now, this cognitive load I talked about, and what it means is that they're not getting burnt out. And so they can absorb and retain more information. Emotion and meaning. Yeah, what they do with this one, emotion and meaning means this, is that they it's also known as elaboration. They essentially explain it to themselves in their way. It's known as the Feynman technique, is the other way of doing it. They explain it to themselves in their own words. If you can explain a topic to somebody else, then you must understand it. Now, the last one then is concrete examples. Again, what they're doing is this, is that they're taking the abstract and they're making it concrete. So, for example, let's say they're talking about pH calculations in chemistry or acids and bases in biology. Then they're going to link it to something, say, for example, like the stomach. All right. So it's real world examples that make sense to them. And neuroscience is a very important part. It's one of our pillars at Empowered STEM, because we believe you don't work hard, you work smart. Okay. And so at every part of our system at Empowered STEM, and I've talked about the PATH method before, precision diagnostics, precision diagnosis, conceptual clarity, strategic vision, and medical mindset. Everything we do is based on neuroscience, because we know that every part of the path, every part of what we do, what we offer the students in our courses, is based on neuroscience. So, for example, from flipped lessons that they can watch before they attend the live lessons is based on neuroscience. The live lessons are based on neuroscience. Even the homework set, even the exams, they're all based around the concept of neuroscience, because we know that neuroscience is the one thing that helps students break through the B and move up to the A and the A-star barrier. Now, you say, well, yeah, Graham, that's fine, but do you have an example of a student that actually did this? Now, look, parents, we talk about students. So we have so many students coming through our courses. We've taught over 500 students, okay? And the one student that comes to mind for tonight is Iggy. Now, when Iggy came to us, she spent hours revising. She was dedicated, absolutely dedicated, hardworking student, absolutely. But she spent hours revising because she was caught in the passive revision trap. So she was stuck at a B. So when she enrolled in our courses, we of course taught her how to study, how to revise like an A-star student. And she started using our mock exams, our bi-weekly mock exams, our feedback loop. She started learning, using the active learning structure that we have in place in all of our courses. And what she did is that she moved from a B to an A. So she came in at a B and she walked out with an A in A-level chemistry. And what she said is this, is that the grade shift was important. But what was more important was walking into the exam hall feeling confident. When I took the exam, when I sat the exam, I knew going in that I knew the content, because I had a very solid foundation in A-level chemistry. I had really solid exam technique, and my mindset was locked in. It was dialed into success. And so when I looked at the question, I wasn't startled by it. I knew exactly what to do. I knew the exact strategy that I had to use in order to get the question right and all of the marks on the question. And she walked out with an A. Now, parents, this is a reason why, and by the way, there's numerous students just like Iggy. This is something that for us, we hear this all the time. We honestly do. It's a very common thing around the Empowered STEM office, is how well the students are doing. But the fact that we base our courses on neuroscience, it's why our programs work even when dare I say it, one-to-one or group tutoring doesn't. The parents say, well, Graham, why do you believe that? Well, Legal standing over there, and he's looking at me like this, the eyebrows raised, and I gotta say this. In my opinion, I don't believe that one-to-one or group tutoring is worth your time. I think it's a waste of your time, parents, and I think it's a waste of your teens' time, and it's a waste of your money. And the reason is because they can't do what we do at Empowered STEM. They don't have the bandwidth to be able to do what we do, because we know, we have the empirical data to show this, to back this up, is that it's not getting the A and the A star, breaking through the B grade barrier. It's not based on more hours of your child, your teen revising. What it is based on neuroscience. So we know that the reason why our students break through the B barrier rather quickly and move up to the A and the A star is because we base our courses on neuroscience. And of course, they're based on the PATH method, which is the 4 steps that I just went over. Because at Empowered STEM, we believe that your teen should work smarter, they shouldn't work harder. So, if your teen is stuck at a B, if they're trying their best, they're putting in the time and the effort and the attention, and they're not getting higher than a B, it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're incapable. It's because they've been taught how to study and not how to learn. So pause a minute, parents. Your teen has been taught how to study by the school system, how to pass an exam with GCSE, but they've not been taught how to learn. And so when they teach A level at the schools, they're teaching your teen how to study. They're not teaching your teen how to learn. And this is the reason why your teen is stuck at a B. Because what they're doing is this, is your teen, because they have not been taught how to learn, through no fault of their own, it's just that the teachers at the schools didn't do it. They're stuck in the passive revision trap. It's something that worked at GCSE. And what they need to do is they need to move over to the active revision strategy, which is what we teach at Empowered STEM. Because we have a system that we know works. We have empirical data that shows the students who join our courses and go through the course with us, these are the ones that routinely move from a B up to an A or an A star in A-level chemistry, biology, physics, and maths. And when your teen learns how to break through the passive revision trap, everything changes. And what happens is that they move from being stuck in A-level maths and science to soaring in A-level maths and science. So parents, I know I've been talking a while, but it's like this. If you're thinking that this is something that you want for your teen, you want your teen to break through the B barrier and to move up to the A and the A star, and you want to have a conversation with us, it's really easy to do, right? Just click the link in the description to learn more about our A-level courses, and you can have a non-salesy conversation with a member of my team, and they'll answer all of your questions, and so you can make an informed decision. And if you decide to move forward and help your teen break through the B barrier, then we would be honored to support you. Everybody take care, and I'll see you in the next one.